I'm preparing for a new coffee table book, as you can see. But that's actually not what I want to talk about today. I want to talk about my first coffee table book, or which is called Classified. I started to make these books because of my concern for the deterioration of my collection. I lost fingers, lost crotches. Colorization is a thing. Yeah, so these are my childhood toys, and you can see Bazooka is without a crotch. Flint and Lady J were discolored, so I painted them up. Yeah, so I felt the necessity to do something about it, to make photos so that I could preserve, in a way, my collection digitally. And when the time comes that I need to throw it away because of the plastic quality or because of other reasons, I still have my books. So this is how I started way back in 2007. I made paper dioramas, I think, since I was, well, on a grand scale, since I was 14, 15. Before that, I did make sceneries for my stories, but the paper dioramas, as I made them, started when I was 14. But in 2007, I decided, okay, I'm going to photograph my Joes, but I will do that in my paper dioramas. And that's how I came up with the first book. So, yeah. So, I hope I get the lighting right. My first book is actually, if I do it like this, it is just an overview of my collection, combined with stills from mostly seasonal run from the Sunbow cartoon. Not much of stories yet, and only a few dioramas. So the opening page, you see my version of Ace. I didn't have the real Ace at that time, but I think Action Pilot is, he is the cartoon Ace. I mean, you see his jar, his hair, his blue eyes, the light blue of his suit. He could be the character from the cartoon, and to me, he's a great alternative. And now that even I've got the original Ace, who came with the Sky Striker, this is still my main pilot to go to. This is, for me, this is Ace. This is me in 2007 in a helicopter, and that's because this is me also. This is the Steel Brigade figure who represents me in the JoJo army. He's called Nightshade. He has Steeler's head because at that time I thought that would suit me the most. Now I use a head from a figure from Super 7 Reaction Line. Because now I have a beard, and this head, it doesn't suit me anymore. What I also like is Airborne, for example. Airborne has actually two character models in the cartoon, and this is the most famous one. It's in the cartoon. It's light blue with some yellow accents. But he is actually drawn like his toy figure in a few episodes, Phantom Brigade, for example. And as you can see here, this is more closely to the real figure. And I never understood why they went with that other character model, because this is more fitting, I think. There we've airtight. So these stills from the cartoon were on the internet back in 2007 when we didn't have the YouTube episodes, and Hasbro apparently didn't pay that much attention. And And I'm glad I downloaded them back at the time because you cannot find them anymore. Yeah, also the quality of the pictures was not that good, but yeah, for this book it's fine. The book itself is A5 size, so it's very small. Nowadays my books are more A4, but so I had an Arctic environmental base made. And I love the fact that I did this because all of my Arctic figures are in here and all of them now are completely yellow. But as you can see, back in 2007, they were still perfectly white. Frostbite, as he was in the cartoon. Yeah. I'm so in love with this. I mean, it's clearly not the environment or the diorama as I make them now, which are fully immersive. You can see a lot of the room in the background where I make these dioramas. It's clearly on a table or on a bed. But still, I'm so happy that I did it because, yeah, like I said, a lot of these Arctic figures have turned yellow. Look how white Snowjob is. He's now actually completely yellow. So I'm really happy. And this still is the book that I take with me when I go on vacation or on holidays. Yeah, because it's so nice to see my figures in this combination with the stills from the cartoon, which I so love. I grew up with only a few episodes from season 1, so I've never seen season 2 when I was a kid. Nor did I know about the comics, so it was only file cards and those few episodes from season 1 that filled my universe or my continuity. This is also great. I mean, AVAC and the Firebed were introduced actually in season 1. This is, I think, also from the Phantom Brigade. So that tells me that this figure was maybe planned originally for 1985, but they postponed it and combined it with the Terrordrome. But it's such a beautiful figure, and it's in the cartoon, and it's actually more in season 1 than it is in season 2. And yeah, it's so great to have these stills and see that combination. This is from the movie, but I included them because it shows the technicians, they're working on the Firebed. It's very nice, actually. So, again, more stills, combinations, of course. So Bazooka, the figure, with his crotch intact, and Bazooka as he was in the cartoon. And this is, yeah, I love this. It's a collage I made with the Baroness. Yeah, I made a few collages in this book. You will see them. But I love the Baroness. And then we come to my first adventure, or wordless adventure, as all the adventures in this book, they are very short. They're just small scenes from what appears to be a bigger mission or a bigger adventure. But it's just to show off my smaller dioramas. And this is the first diorama I actually put in this book. It's a small mission. The Joes are in some Middle East town and they lost their way. So they're asking the way to this mysterious figure, which turns out to be Zartan. And yeah, of course, he turns the wrong way. Also, I tell the story again with stills from the cartoon, put there in between. This is, I think, from Hearts and Cannons. So yeah, and if you have seen the AI generated, well, if you haven't seen it, let me include the AI generated story that I made from these pictures.
Don't worry, Frontline is asking for directions. Thank you, sir. Guys, I know the way.
The way to certain death.
Next are a lot of stills from Worlds Without End. It's my favorite episode. It's a two-parter. And it's one of the episodes I saw as a kid. And I loved it. It was horrific in a way. Also the ending here you can see actually Clutch from the Mass Device still in green. I mean, normally we see him in 10 as in Worlds Without End, but yeah, here's in green. Sparks, also nice. But yeah, the fact that these three had a dead counterpart, but also at the end of the second episode, these three, Steeler, Clutch, and Steeler, and Grunt, they stay behind in this other world. And it was so confusing to me as a kid. And yeah, but I love this episode. So I have a lot of, something went wrong here, but I have a lot of stills from that particular episode. So CoverGirl is also a figure I like very much. Here's the blonde version from Mass Device. Breaker, I love Breaker. They are all figures that were never sold in the Netherlands. So to me, I saw them in the cartoon. I really wanted a CoverGirl, or Scarlet for that matter, or Breaker. Spirit, for example. Doc was also featured in the cartoon. That wasn't a figure that was sold in the Netherlands. The Baroness. And they were Major Blood. They were great misses to me. So here is the first time I pull out my at that time entire Cobra army. It has grown a bit, but not by much. I either have 5 or 10 or 7 of figures. So you see my Vipers are 10. My Crimson Guard are now also 10. The officers are still 5, but the troopers, I can see which one is which. Hello. There it is. I think these are the troopers and these are the officers. But anyway, I have 10 troopers now. I have 10 snow serpents now. But that's enough. I mean, they're also becoming quite yellow. So I expanded my army a bit, but not that much. I mean, look at it. If you see it like that, it's already very impressive. So you don't need 20 or more. If you want to do something in a picture or in a story, 10 is the max, I think. Oh yeah, this is also interesting. This is the Cobra Mobile Command Center, and it is my very first custom I made. I found a 2000 or 2002 version, I'm not sure which year, but it was mint in box, it was very cheap. So I bought it, and then I decided to make it a Cobra vehicle. I don't know why exactly. Maybe because I lacked something big for Cobra. Well, that's actually not the case, because at this time I owned a Terradrome. So I don't know, but somehow it suited, because it looks great with the hisses and yeah. I'm glad I did, actually. So you see a bit of the inside. It features a lot in my stories. And I put also a lot of photos on the internet, on my own channel or on my own Facebook page, but also in the G.I. Joburg Facebook page. Yeah. Also, the His Driver was not featured that much in the cartoon. I think this is from the episode The Funhouse. But he's there, and yeah, he's driving. He's the middle driver of my mobile command center. Beautiful figure, actually. Bit weird, but I like it. So I add all these other kinds of. This is for more modern Joes, but yeah, to me it works. it's all Cobra. I like it. I don't own an original a Night Raven, so it's a good alternative. And there's Raven from the episode from season 2, In the Presence of My Enemies. Scrap Iron has always a small part in the cartoon, but yeah, I still like the figure. Lieutenant Claymore. And there is my Terradrome. The actual, and you can see my dog in the back. Oh, there she is. My Terradrome, this is the only proof that I ever owned a Terradrome, because I sold it. Unfortunately, I thought that I sold it to a fan, but it turned out to be a seller who resold it for, well, a lot. He got it very cheap from me. Why I sold it? It is too big. I could not store it. I could not display it. Also, it is very fragile, and so I played with it a few times. Forgot to make a story with it in a photo shoot, and that's unfortunate. I wish I had. But these are the only 3 photos I made. So yeah, but they're in here, so that's cool. I don't miss it, by the way. I have my mobile command center, which is way more fun, I think. And I have a lot of alternatives, as you can see, from extreme sets. Yeah. I mean, if I want a Cobra base, I can make one. It's not a big deal. And also the fact that it was round, so you could not see all the sides at once. Like, I like dioramas. I mean, this is like a scene which you could see in the theater with a backdrop, with side panels. This is for me more immersive than this. But it's a really cool set. That being said, it's just not for me, but it's a really cool set, especially this mechanism where the fire bat comes out. It worked beautifully on mine, by the way. Yeah. The mothership. Yeah. We could have had the set, but yeah, it didn't fund, fortunately. I hope they will do something with this or that. The helicarrier is also a very cool set. One of my Cobra labs. I use a lot of Star Wars diorama pieces. And here's another. All the failed attempts by Shipwreck. Covergirl says no. Scarlet says no. Satin drives away. It's a bit sad, but okay. So here's my second short story. It's very short. It's just these few characters. They walk along a pyramid and Scorponok appears, movie Scorponok, and they just decide to burn him. And that's it. I like to combine Transformers with G.I. Joe. To me, they were always in the same universe. And yeah, we didn't have the crossovers as we do now, which I absolutely love. But in 2007, I did combine my Transformers with my Joes as much as possible. And I like these creatures like Ravage or Scorponok from the movie because they can serve as monsters or something that Cobra invented, or as Cybertronians, but they work well with the Joes. Scale-wise, but also because they're not vehicles. It's something nice they can fight off. So this is Zartan, absolute my favorite character of all time. And this is my first attempt to recreate his home in the Florida Everglades, I think. At least it's in a swamp. So this is my first attempt to give him a home in a swamp. I have made many since then, but I still like my first one and I still use this house. But a lot of those diorama pieces who make up the jungle, well, they have deteriorated over time, and I'm actually using the backdrop still in one of my displays, but yeah. So this is a custom from a vamp from 2000 or 1998. I'm not sure, but I made a dreadnought vehicle. I recolored it again. It's now red and it's called the Vampire. And I added little teeth here and there. It features in one of my books. So yeah, it's not a real story. It's just again display the figures that I have, some customs that I made. I don't like crystal ball, so I gave him the head of Grand Fashion 2, gave him some makeup, some glam rock makeup. This is my version of Zanya. So a bit of dial tone and dark. Dusty. I'm actually going alphabetically here, I think. Oh, and this is actually the first diorama I made with the backdrop and side pieces. And still, I recreated it. I mean, it's over here. And there's the new backdrop. So I can make this one in a better and bigger version, because you can see this backdrop I used is actually too small for the pieces that are in front of it. But I still like this diorama so much that is the reason why I recreated it. Bit of mountain, bit of trees, forest, and of course it's the hideout of Snake Eyes with Scarlet. So in my universe, the Coil is a splinter group of Cobra led by Serpentor or the followers of Serpentor. In my continuity, Serpentor is dead. He's killed by Zartan, which coincidentally was also in the comics, but I didn't know when this was created. For me, it was more that I put all the different colored Cobra vehicles and personnel in a different group. So Cobra is always black with the Cobra blue and the red and the gray. And yeah, everything, these are customs, by the way, but everything which is not that color ends up being Coil. For me, it gives the uniformity that I need. So I do have to admit I changed a lot, because I used Copperhead as well for Cobra as for the Coil, and I used the Cobra Bug as well for Cobra as for the Coil, as well as the Hydro Vipers and Sector Viper. So it's not a law per se, but yeah, it's maybe it's also a way to categorize my collection when I store it, because I don't have anything or everything on display. So this is the Playmobil set that is featured heavily in my coffee table book Ninja Showdown, which was on sale last year. I sold the copies of that book. It's a lovely playset. It has so many features, and it scales so well with my Joes. I actually, maybe there it is. I linked it to my battle platform. Hope you can see, the light is bad, but yeah, it's an amazing set. It's quite big actually. A bit of the movie, and there it is. There's Sartan again. I did make a still or how do you say, the collage about Sartan. Oh yeah, here it is. And also Scarlet. I like those collages. I mean, yeah. But anyway, I digress. So this is my first big story. It's the first time I went all out with diorama pieces. I created a jungle, as you can see, with all kinds of loose pieces. I used paint. I mostly use acrylic paint, but in this case it was too glossy, so you don't see the grass. It's actually the lights reflecting on it, but it's a learning process. So yeah, this is my first real jungle, and it was the biggest set I ever made until now. It has a backdrop. It has side pieces again. In the middle is the temple from the Indiana Jones movie with the Kingdom of the Skull or whatever it's called. But it's a nice play set. I could use it. And this is also one of the bigger stories. Essentially, it's the same as the one with the pyramid. They're opening up an Aztec pyramid. In this case, Ravage jumps out and starts attacking. But let me show you with AI. Perhaps that tells the story better. So there you have it. Ravage is heavily damaged, so he doesn't pose any threats anymore. Is he dead? I don't know. In my universe, yeah, a lot of people tend to die but get alive again for the next story. As a kid, I always said they were clones, retconned actually, because Cobra Commander in my adventure died a lot. I always felt that Cobra Commander or any other enemy after his evil is done should die horrifically. But then the next adventure he would be there again, and then the Joes would figure out, oh, then the last Cobra Commander that died has been yet another clone. And in that way I could solve the problem, still could have my horrible, horrific deaths, but continue playing. Yeah. I'm really excited that Super 7 Reaction Plus is giving us Wild Bill cartoon style with this orange and blue. I know I have been critical because, they don't sculpt the eyes, but apparently they have started to do so, so that's really, really cool. But I am a fan of Reaction and Reaction Plus. I have a lot of Reaction figures. If you have followed me on, maybe I can show you a bit. I mean, these are actually my action force. There they are. So these are all my civilians, and most of which are Reaction figures. Yeah. So I love them. I'm a fan. But yeah, the Reaction Plus, I do hope they continue to sculpt the eyes, because it's so better when you photograph them. And, but he's wearing glasses, so I'm not that worried about how his head will turn out. Yeah, I love it. I love the fact that we get a cartoon accurate Wild Bill. The only thing, fingers crossed, is that he would fit in the Dragonfly, because the original one is a really tight fit, especially when you put him in the front seat. We have to see what happens with his head, but if he fits in the back seat, that's fine with me. But yeah, a collage about Firefly, also one of my more favorite characters. I really like the character, although I never remembered him from the cartoon. I have no recollection that I ever saw him, but yeah, as an adult I really dig the idea, and the figure is quite beautiful. Major Blood, Wild Weasel. I have a lot of Cover Girl stills. I love Cover Girl. This is from Money to Burn. This is from the episode where Shipwreck triggers the MacGuffin device. The episode unfortunately suffers from a lot of animation errors, but still the idea is, yeah, I always dig when fantasy part of G.I. Joe enters or gets intermixed with their reality. This is again from Worlds Without End. I so love that episode. This was my display of my full green team, as to say. It has enlarged a bit over time, but yeah, I was really happy with just this. Equalizer, I got mint in box as well. So for me, I am the first owner, and that's important to me somehow. Every year I treat myself to something mint in box, just to give that feeling of opening it for the first time and assembling it. This was my treat from last year. So also at a very good price, but it was completely new, untouched. Love it, love it, love it. This is also interesting. Heavy Metal is a character that you do not see often, or yeah, almost not in media appearances, but he has an appearance in the cartoon, in the episode Pit of Vipers, and they actually draw him quite well. It's a nice way of. I mean, his chin is humongous, but still, I like it. It's kind of has this manga feel almost. I don't know. I like it. So he has a speaking part, which is fine. Steeler and Talbot. Taurus, which was back then the only renegade I had. I got him for free, actually. I bought something else and that figure was included. But I like his character. Yeah. Especially when you ask, can I remove his head? Yes. Can I remove his head? Yes. Please. Yeah. Again, World Without End. Xandar. Zorana and Xandar have a special place in my heart. They were my consolation prize for the fact that I never got a Zartan, but I love them to bits. Sedin, I put in Sedin there because I made Sedin as a Joe. At least to me, she was Sedin, so I added her to the roster. My version of Sabretooth. This custom did not survive. I reused his parts in other figures. Collage for Shipwreck and Polly. Collage for Storm Shadow, Snake Eyes, and Spirit. Why all three of them? Because in the cartoon it was not Snake Eyes versus Storm Shadow, but Spirit versus Storm Shadow. At least in season 1. And so we come to the last story in the book, which is not an actual story. It's just a confrontation between Cobra and G.I. Joe. And I wanted to include my tactical battle platform because that is to date my favorite playset. Here you see it in its discolored version. I restored it, so it's now beautifully as new again. But I own this thing since 1987. I got it for my 10th birthday. So I had to put it in there. I love this set. I love this set. So yeah, they start attacking. These underwater photos actually are not underwater. It's just in front of my television. I made some photos. In fact, I think I can put some artificial intelligence on this one as well. So enjoy. And there you have it. I mean, it's unclear who's winning. I mean, Shipwreck is shooting them. Yeah, they're diving off the boat, but story-wise, it's not a convincing ending, I think. But I still like it. And then the last page is a bit of love. It's to me as a kid, I found it astonishing that the characters were actually developing relationships, falling in love, and actually kissing. I mean, this kiss, she got something in her eye here. It was something that made, for me, the cartoon more realistic, and I came to love it more because of it, because to me they were actual real people. So the fact that they did this in the 80s, yeah, beautifully. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed the little tour. I'm planning to do all my coffee table books, so this is a journey of I think a few years, because I have a lot. Yeah, but this is my first one. Still love it, still take it with me everywhere where I go. So I hope to see you in the next video. Bye.